Chapter 10: The Islands Collided. Chen Yuan remembered this person, the one who called himself pirate, the arrogant guy who made others commit suicide. Just by hearing the name, one could tell he was from Great Xia, but Chen Yuan did not expect that in only 3 days, his points would increase so quickly. An Lan said, he must have encountered other players and eliminated them. That's the only way he could have accumulated so many points. Chen Yuan fully agreed with An Lan's opinion. He checked the points leaderboard and saw that the second place also had more than 800 points. The player named Anli, who ranked first 2 days ago, had now fallen to 20th place, with only a little over 500 points. In the deep night sky, there were only scattered stars. Chen Yuan raised his head and looked at the stars, saying, anyone who can get on the leaderboard is ruthless. They still have to spend points on various items and equipment, yet they can save up so many points. That shows they are not ordinary people. The system issued a broadcast. At present, the number of participants remaining in Crescent Bay Lake is 273,458,875. A cool breeze blew past. Chen Yuan shivered, feeling a chill deep in his bones, and said in shock, more than 30 million people were eliminated on the first day. On the second day, it seemed that no one was eliminated. On the third day, more than 30 million were eliminated again. That means almost the entire Crescent Bay Lake is in constant battle. An Lan sat beside Chen Yuan and said, although Crescent Bay Lake is about the same size as the oceans on Blue Star, there are several hundred million participants. The probability of encountering others is still very high. Once you meet someone, it's a life or death fight. That's part of the fun. After all, you can't experience this kind of thing in the real world. Chen Yuan nodded and said, yes. Things you dare not do, or even think about in the real world can all be realized here. And there's the final grand prize of 100 million Blue Star coins. Who wouldn't want that? Once you get it, you can lie flat for the rest of your life. An Lan said, this place allows people to show the dark side of human nature. Since no one truly dies, everyone has no scruples. They strike much more ruthlessly, and will never let go of any opportunity to eliminate others. Chen Yuan completely agreed with An Lan's view. Although she was only an assistant sprite, she was extremely intelligent, which also verified the powerful technology of the Mingshaksa group. Chen Yuan patted the general's armor on the ground, producing a clear clang-clang sound. It's made of steel, similar to the armor worn by ancient generals. He lifted it with his hand and felt its weight. So heavy. This must weigh 30 or 40 jin. If you wear this, can you really move freely? It feels more like a burden. It took half a day before Chen Yuan finally put on the general's armor. The dozens of jin of weight pressed down on his body, making him extremely uncomfortable, as if a small mountain were weighing on him, making it hard to move. Every step Chen Yuan took required great effort. However, with the protection of the armor, it was indeed much safer. If he wanted to survive better, he had to adapt to the weight of the armor and make himself able to move freely as soon as possible. At night, Chen Yuan slept while wearing the armor. He was afraid of encountering enemies who might shoot him with an arrow. After all, this was a competition that cost 1,000 Blue Star coins to enter. The small island drifted with the current in the lake, and Chen Yuan fell asleep. Only the iron wire fishing platform continued to work tirelessly. Golden light spread across the surface of the lake, and the water was rough and uneven. Chen Yuan was still in his sleep when a loud boom suddenly sounded. The 10-square-meter island shook violently, and layers of waves surged across the lake surface. Chen Yuan was jolted awake, his body trembling uncontrollably. Not good, we collided with another island. This is bad. Chen Yuan shouted in alarm, his tense hands reaching for the red-tasseled spear beside him. However, the general's armor was too heavy. After great effort, Chen Yuan finally sat up, clamped the spear under his arm, and aimed the spearhead forward. He saw the other person standing there in a daze, red lips slightly parted, eyes drawn inward, both hands tightly gripping a crescent blade, staring at Chen Yuan with a terrified expression. The other party was a girl around 20 years old. Judging by her facial features, she was either from Great Xia or from Sakura country. Looking at her island, it could only be described as shabby. Apart from two short wooden-handled rods, there was nothing else. Chen Yuan exerted tremendous effort and slowly climbed to his feet, walking toward her with great difficulty. When the girl saw Chen Yuan wearing armor and holding a red tasseled spear, as he approached her, her body trembled. The crescent blade worth 15 points slipped from her hand and fell into Crescent Bay Lake through the gap between the two islands. Her legs went weak, and she collapsed backward, landing on the ground with a thud and crying out in pain, "Ouch!" Seeing Chen Yuan coming closer, she waved her hands frantically and said in fear, "Don't come over, don't come over." Panting heavily, Chen Yuan walked to the boundary between the two islands and asked, "From Great Xia?" The girl nodded her small head rapidly. "MMHM. Don't kill me." Chen Yuan originally thought he would encounter a formidable opponent, but instead he ran into a lamb waiting to be slaughtered. He joked, "It'll only hurt for a moment. You'll immediately be freed and return to the second blue star. You won't really die. Come on, expose your chest and let me stab you once." Her face instantly turned pale. She pushed backward with her feet, scooting her hips away, shaking her head wildly, her long hair flying. "You can't kill me. We are both from Great Xia. We are compatriots. You can't kill a compatriot." Chen Yuan stopped in his tracks. At that moment, he felt a trace of goodwill toward the girl and thought to himself, "I didn't expect that in such a situation, she could still analyze the circumstances and look for a chance to survive. Although it's moral coercion, it's not easy for a girl." Chen Yuan stepped onto her island, his voice cold. "This is a virtual world. Moral coercion doesn't work on me. I'm definitely going to stab you." The girl watched Chen Yuan dragging the red tasseled spear, the spearhead carving a deep mark on the ground. In her terror, she kicked her feet desperately and scooted backward as fast as she could. "Don't, be careful!" Chen Yuan shouted just as the words left his mouth. The girl failed to notice what was behind her and fell into the lake with a splash. "Help!" Chen Yuan saw her struggling wildly in the water, her face filled with pain. He hurriedly took off his armor and dove into the lake. After great effort, he finally rescued the girl and pulled her back up. Chen Yuan performed CPR and mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, finally pulling her back from the brink of death. Although this was a virtual world, the basic laws were the same as in the real world. The two of them stood there, soaked, looking at each other. "You said you were going to stab me. Why did you save me instead?" Chen Yuan stared fixedly at her red lips. Just now, when he gave her mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, even though they were in the virtual third blue star, the sense of reality was still unforgettable. Chen Yuan had never had a girlfriend before, and he didn't know whether this counted as his first kiss. When the girl noticed Chen Yuan staring at her lips, she frowned and shouted angrily, "Where are you looking, you pervert?" Chen Yuan panicked and said, "I was just joking earlier. You're right, we are both from Great Xia. How could I attack a compatriot? Besides, you're a pretty girl. My name is Chen Yuan, from Sangyun City. What about you, miss?" "Shivered, from Jiangnan City." She did not have a good impression of Chen Yuan, but since he had saved her, although she was displeased, she still told him her name. Chen Yuan extended his hand to show friendliness. "Ah, we are both from the southern province. I'm from Jiangbei, you're from Jiangnan. Nice to meet you." Shivered was a little reluctant, but she still reached out and shook his hand. Chen Yuan's eyes were still fixed on her. Xia frowned, pouted her lips, and said, "You're not allowed to look at me like that." "Why?" "The way you're looking at me makes me uncomfortable."